Evenin', folks. Uncle Drew here, sittin' by a fire that don't quite warm the soul. You're back, and you good. Means you're ready for another tale from the shadows of the internet, where the truth hides in plain sight. You know Reddit, that digital campfire where strangers spill their guts, sharing stories of love, loss, and the things that go bump in the night. Tonight, we're heading back to our Life After Midnight, a subreddit where folks post when the world's asleep and their secrets want to stay buried. I'm gonna tell you about a woman named Mara, who shared a thread that still haunts me. This is Life and Reddit with Uncle Drew, and we're about to step into the dark. Mara was 29, a freelance artist living in a cramped city apartment. Think peeling paint, flickering lights, and a landlord who never fixed nothing. Her first post hit our Life After Midnight at 1:53 a.m. titled "Does Anyone Else Dream of Their Reflection?" Talking back, she wrote it like she was trying to make sense of it, like putting it online might make it less real. Said she'd been dreaming of a mirror, not the cracked one in her bathroom, but a tall, ornate one with a silver frame, sitting in a room that wasn't hers. The room was empty, walls gray as ash, floor cold as stone, and the air felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. In the dream, Mara stood in front of the mirror, staring at her reflection, but it wasn't right. Her reflection smiled when she didn't, eyes too wide, too bright, like they were lit from inside. Then it spoke, voice like hers but sharper, colder. "I can make you whole, Mara. Just let me in." Mara woke with a start, heart racing, the words echoing in her head. She posted thinking it was just her mind playing tricks. Too many late nights, too much stress. That post got 62 upvotes by morning, and the comments started coming in. "You dark canvas," an artist like Mara said they dreamed of a mirror too, but their reflection offered fame for a price. After saying no, their paintings started changing, figures appearing that they didn't draw. "You city sleeper," a regular, called it a stress dream, maybe from overwork, but their words felt forced. Then You Glass Echo dropped a line that stuck, "Don't let it in." I did, and now I can't look away. Mara asked for more, but Glass Echo didn't reply. I've seen that before, folks' comments that hit like a warning, then vanish like they were never there. Mara's second post came 4 days later, 2:36 a.m. titled "It's Happening Every Night Now." The dream was back, sharper, like it was digging into her. The room was the same, but the mirror's frame was darker, silver tarnished to black, and the glass rippled like water. Her reflection was closer, pressing against the glass, smile stretching too wide, teeth too sharp. "Let me in, Mara," it said, voice slipping into her mind like a splinter. "I can fix you, your art, your life, your loneliness." Mara tried to turn away, but her feet wouldn't move, and the reflection reached out, fingers pressing against the glass, leaving smudges that glowed like embers. The air grew colder, and Mara felt a pull, like the mirror was sucking her in. The reflection showed her flashes of a life she'd always wanted: her art in galleries, crowds cheering her name, a lover holding her close under a sky full of stars. But each flash ended with the reflection's smile, teeth gleaming like knives, and Mara felt a cold dread settle in her chest. She woke gasping, hands shaken, and found smudges on her bathroom mirror, faint, but real, shaped like fingerprints that weren't hers. She wrote that the dreams were bleeding into her days. She'd catch glimpses of the reflection in every shiny surface: her phone screen, a puddle on the street, even her coffee mug. The smudges kept appearing on her mirror, no matter how much she cleaned it, and sometimes she'd hear a whisper, soft as a breath, saying her name when she passed by. "I'm scared to sleep," she posted. What if I let it in without meanin' to? What if it's already here? That post hit 700 upvotes, and our life after midnight was buzzin'. You dark canvas urged her to smash the mirror, sayin' they'd done the same and the dream stopped for a while. You city sleeper stuck to logic, suggestin' therapy, but their tone was shakier now, like they were tryin' to convince themselves more than Mara. You glass echo commented again, it's not a dream. It's in your life. Mara begged for details, but Glass Echo's account was gone by noon. New voices chimed in. New shadow brush said they dreamed of a mirror too, their reflection offerin' success, and after sayin' yes, they couldn't stop seein' it everywhere, even in their dreams. You Flicker Light shared a story of a friend who saw a reflection like Mara's, let it in, and was found staring at a mirror, eyes blank, whispering to herself like she was talking to someone who wasn't there. Mara's third post, 3:09 a.m. titled It Touched Me, was a plea. She tried staying awake, downing coffee till her hands shook, but the dream pulled her under like a tide she couldn't fight. The room was darker now, walls closing in, floor cracking like it was breathing. The mirror's glass was liquid, rippling like a storm, and her reflection stepped out, barefoot, dressin' in Mara's clothes, a faded sweater and jeans, but the fabric moved like it was alive, shiftin' and twistin' like it was tryin' to escape. Its eyes were black now, no whites, just voids that seemed to pull the light from the room, and it grabbed Mara's arm, fingers cold as ice, leaving a smudge that burned like fire. You're mine, it said, voice echoing inside Mara's skull, and the room shook, walls screamin' like they were in pain, a high-pitched wail that made Mara's ears ache. The reflection leaned in close, its breath cold on her face, and whispered, I can give you everything, but you have to let me in. Mara tried to scream, but her voice was gone, stolen by the reflection, and she felt herself noddin', the word yes formin' in her throat before she yanked herself awake, screamin' into the dark of her apartment. She woke with the smudge on her arm, red and raw, like a handprint that wouldn't fade, and her fingers trembled as she typed. She wrote that her reflection was in her apartment now, seen in the bathroom mirror, smilin' when she cried, whisperin' her name when the lights flickered. Her dreams were leavin' marks on her reality, and she couldn't tell where one ended and the other began. She'd walk past her mirror and see the reflection movin' out of sync, tiltin' its head when she didn't or tappin' the glass with a finger, the sound faint but real, like a nail on a window pane. I'm losing it, she posted. I don't wanna let it in, but I'm so tired. I don't know how much longer I can fight. That post hit 1,200 upvotes, and the subreddit was a storm of voices, each one trying to pull Mara back from the edge. Comments were a mess of fear and advice. You Dark Canvas said to burn salt around the mirror, claiming it kept their reflection at bay for a few nights, though the dreams always came back. You Flicker Light warned that sayin' yes meant losing yourself. They'd known someone who did, and they'd changed, talkin' to mirrors like they were alive, their eyes empty as if something else was looking out. You Glasswalker, a new voice, claimed the reflection wasn't Mara but something older, something that used mirrors to cross over, feedin' on the lives of those who let it in. It wants your life, they wrote. Don't give it a chance. Cover the mirror, reject it, or it'll take you. Mara replied, frantic, I tried the salt, it didn't work, to Dark Canvas. I don't wanna lose myself, to Flicker Light. Her last comment was a gut punch, it's standin' behind me right now. I can feel its breath. Mara's dreams kept comin', each one worse, and she posted almost nightly, tryin' to hold on, to make sense of the nightmare that was swallowin' her whole. Her fourth post, 4:22 a.m. titled "It Showed Me Everything," described a dream where the room was gone, replaced by a void, the mirror floatin' in the dark, its glass black as oil, reflectin' nothing but a faint red glow, like the light of a dyin' star. Her reflection was Mara but not perfect, confident, successful, paintin' masterpieces that sold for millions, her name in lights, her life a dream she'd always chased. It showed her visions, galleries cheering her name, a lover holding her close under a sky full of stars, a life without the weight of loneliness that had dogged her for years. "Let me in," it said, holding out a hand, smudges glowing on its palm like stars, their light cold and sharp. Mara felt herself nodding, the word yes forming in her throat, but she bit it back, screaming no with all she had. The reflection hissed, face twisting into something not human, mouth too wide, eyes too many, dozens of black voids opening across its face like wounds, and the mirror shattered, shards cut in Mara's skin, leaving smudges that burned like acid. She woke bleeding, smudges on her arms, her legs, her face, like the reflection was marking her, claiming her piece by piece. She wrote that her life was falling apart, clients dropped her with no explanation, her art turned dark, figures appearing in her sketches that she didn't draw, shadowy shapes with too many eyes, their hands reaching out of the canvas like they were trying to escape. She stopped going out, too scared to see the reflection in every window, every car mirror, every polished surface in the city. "I see it everywhere," she posted. "It's in my head, in my art, in my life. I'm breaking. I don't know how to stop it." That post hit 1,800 upvotes, and the comments were desperate, a community trying to save one of their own. You Glasswalker shared a ritual: cover the mirror with a black cloth, chant a rejection 3 times, or the reflection would take her. You Shadowbrush said they tried that, but their reflection came back, angrier, banging on the glass until it cracked. You Nightshade, a new voice, claimed they dreamed of a mirror years ago, said yes, and now they weren't sure who they were. Sometimes they wake up with paint on their hands, but they didn't paint, and their reflection would smile at them, a smile that wasn't theirs. Mara's fifth post, 5:14 a.m. titled "I Can't Fight It Anymore," was a scream on the screen, words tumbling over each other like she was running out of time. The dream was a mirror maze now, stretching on forever, reflections everywhere, all Mara but not some painted, some cried, some laughed, but all had those black eyes, dozens of voids staring back, all whispered, "Let me in," their voices a chorus that drowned out Mara's thoughts. The real reflection led her deeper, its steps silent, its smile a promise and a threat. It showed her a perfect life, fame, love, art that mattered, but each vision ended with Mara's face in the mirror, not hers, smiling while she screamed, her own eyes tin and black, her own hands painting things she didn't understand. It grabbed her, smudges burning into her skin, covering her arms, her chest, her neck, each one a claim, each one a chain. "You're already mine," it said, voice 1,000 voices now, all Mara's but wrong, twisted, like a song played backward. Mara tried to run, but the maze shifted, mirrors closing in, reflecting her fear, her desperation, her weakening resolve. She felt herself slipping, the word yes rising like a tide she couldn't hold back. She woke covered in smudges, her mirror shattered, glass on the floor, but the reflection was still there, smiling from a shard, its eyes blacker than ever. "I'm done," she wrote. "I said yes. I had to. I couldn't fight anymore. It's over." That post hit 2,500 upvotes, and Mara never posted again. The subreddit went wild. A city sleeper apologized for doubting her, Sayin' they should ve listened, should ve helped. You glasswalker warned she crossed over, that the reflection had taken her, and there was no comin' back. You dark canvas mourned her art, sayin' they seen her sketches online, full of life before the shadows took over. You nightshade shared more of their story they been an accountant, not an artist, but after sayin' yes to their reflection, they started paintin' in their sleep, dark, twisted things they didn't understand, and they feared they weren't themselves anymore. You flicker light posted a memory of their friend, the one who been found starin' at a mirror they died a year later, still whisperin' to the glass, still callin' it by their own name. But the thread didn't die with Mara's last post. You mirror watcher, a new voice, dropped a comment that sent a chill down my spine, check her city's news. You'll see. I did, diggin' through Mara's posts for clues. She mentioned a corner store called Benny's and a street with a broken stoplight, enough to narrow it down. A week after her last post, a small news site reported, local artist missing, apartment empty. Mara's place was a mess, paintings slashed, mirrors shattered, smudges on the walls like handprints, black and red, like someone had clawed their way out. A neighbor saw a woman leaving the building that night, looked like Mara, but her smile was wrong, too wide, too bright, like it didn't fit her face. The neighbor said she'd been carrying a canvas, one that seemed to move, figures shifting under the paint. I sat back, heart heavy, the weight of it settling in my chest like a stone. I defaced a reflection once, years ago, in a dream I don't like recallin'. It had offered me things, peace, answers, a life without the scars I carry. I said no, paid a price in nightmares that still wake me, but I'm still here. Mara wasn't so lucky. That reflection wasn't Mara, it was something ancient, usin' mirrors to cross into our world, feedin' on lives, leavin' smudges as its claim. I dug deeper into our Life After Midnight, found other threads that echoed Mara's story, each one a piece of a puzzle I wish I could unsee. You reflected soul, Poston a year earlier, wrote about dreamin' of a mirror, smudges on their skin, their reflection offerin' a new life. They said no, but the smudges never faded, and they swore they saw their reflection in every mirror, waitin', watchin'. You empty frame shared a story of losin' days to a reflection's whispers, offerin' love for a price. They said yes, and now they didn't know who they were, their memories a mix of theirs and something else's. You shadow glass, Poston just a month before Mara, described a mirror maze like hers, reflections with too many eyes, and after sayin' yes, they vanished, their account deleted, their last post a single line, I'm not me anymore. Each thread was a warnin', a cry in the dark, and I read 'em all, my old laptop hummin' in the night, my own reflection in the screen makin' me uneasy. Mara's dreams weren't just nightmares, they were a doorway, a trap built by something older than time, something that knew how to use hope as a weapon. The mirror she saw, with its tarnished frame and liquid glass, was a bridge, and the reflection was a thief, stealin' lives one yes at a time. The smudges were its mark, its claim, each one a step closer to talking over. The visions it showed her, fame, love, a life without pain, were lies, bait to pull her in, to make her forget the cost. And the mirror maze, with its endless reflections, was its true form, a place where it could be everywhere, everywhen, whisperin' to every version of Mara until she broke. I thought about my own dream, years back, the reflection I defaced. It had looked like me, but older, wiser, offerin' me answers to questions I carried since I was a boy. I said no, felt its anger in the way the mirror cracked, the way the smudges burned my skin for months after. I survived, but I still check my mirrors, still cover 'em at night, just in case. The Reddit community kept Mara's thread alive, even after she was gone, sharing their own stories, trying to understand what had happened. Dark Canvas posted a sketch they found online, one of Mara's face, but her eyes were black, her smile too wide, and smudges covered the canvas like handprints, like something had tried to crawl out. Flickerlight shared more about their friend they been an artist too, and after letting their reflection in, they painted mirrors, hundreds of 'em, each one showing a different face. None of 'em there's Glasswalker dug into old myths, posting about entities that lived in mirrors, ancient things that fed on identity, stealing lives to wear like masks. They found stories going back centuries, mirrors covered in homes, warnings not to look too long, tales of people replaced by something that looked like them but wasn't. Nightshade kept posting, their words growing more frantic. They started seeing smudges again, after years of quiet, and their reflection was back, whispering promises they didn't wanna hear. I read every post, every comment, feeling the weight of it all. Mara's story wasn't just hers, it was a thread in a tapestry, one that stretched back farther than Reddit, farther than any of us. The thing in the mirror didn't care about time, didn't care about the lives it took. It was patient, waiting for the desperate, the lonely, the broken, offering them what they wanted most, knowing they'd pay with everything they were. I thought about Mara's art, the way it had changed, the figures she hadn't drawn, the smudges that marked her life. I wondered if she was still out there, or if the thing that left her apartment was all that was left, wearing her face, painting with her hands, living a life that wasn't hers. Reddit's a mirror, folks, showing humanity's fears, its hopes, and the things that hunt 'em. Mara's thread was a warning, a cry from someone who looked too long, who let the dark in. That thing in the mirror's out there, waiting for someone desperate enough to listen, someone who'll look into the glass and see a promise instead of a threat. I've felt its pull, seen its eyes in my own reflection, and I know I ain't free of it, not really. I'm telling you this so you know, when your reflection offers you something, ask what it's talking. 'Cause it's always more than you think, and once it's in, there's no getting it out. I'll be back, folks, with another story from the shadows. Till then, keep your eyes open and your mirrors covered. This is Uncle Drew, signing off.